So there are people making millions and becoming millionaires from trading the sport of tennis on the Betfair exchange. But just who are these tennis trading millionaires and how do they get their edge? And most importantly, can we copy it? In this video, you will have your answer. Go grab a nice cold beer or a glass of Courvoisier and let's get into it. So you might be watching this video with one eyebrow up and assuming this is some sort of clickbait. However, we do not do clickbait on Sports Trading Live TV. We really are going to be talking about tennis trading millionaires in this video. And this all goes back to a book which is still available on Amazon if you wanted to have a read of it. A book I read about 7 years ago, and it was written by a guy named Brad Hutchins, who eventually traded tennis full-time for 2 years. And when he was brand new to the job of tennis trading, he met another tennis trader and kind of asked him, well, what is this all about? How much money is there really to be made in tennis trading? Thinking it was just going to be in the thousands. But he was told by the other trader, it's actually millions, mate. The top guys are making millions. And although the author didn't go on to make millions, he did give us a good idea of who actually was. And we're going to address this a little bit later in the video. I know some of you already know, or at least think you know, who is making those millions. And if you are one of the smart ones, leave a comment below in advance. But we're going to dive into the video right now. But if you are liking what you see, remember to hit that like button to support the channel. This is an absolutely free video for you to watch. It takes a lot of time and research for us to produce it. So if you want to support the channel, just click the like button and it will help us out hugely. But firstly, let's address the matter of how and why there is so much money in the tennis markets, because you're probably thinking, well, what is going on? How can someone really be making millions from a sport like tennis? Okay, it might seem odd because I doubt you watching this video know many people in the normal world who like to load up on a tennis accumulator every weekend. Okay, but in case you didn't know, I mean, tennis trading is pretty big business. Okay, it's one of the best kept secrets on the Betfair exchange, probably because not many even think to click on the tab. But for example, here's a pretty low profile tennis matches between two players you've probably never heard of, and look how much money was turned over on this one. Okay, similarly, compare that to a football match happening at the same time between two teams you've probably never heard of, which is near the end of the match as well. So that's probably the limit of the money that's going to be turned over. And you can see the difference, 42k there, 851k matched on the tennis on the tennis match. So you can see that there is a lot more money getting turned over and a lot more interest in the tennis markets. But football is the most popular sport in the world. So what is really going on here? Okay. But and just to show you, I'm not cherry picking. I took a screenshot of matches that were in play, okay, at the same time as the tennis. So this is just a random afternoon. You can see the amount of money being matched on these football matches, all low profile matches, similar to the low profile tennis matches I'm about to show you. But 5 figures looks to be the highest. But if we look at similar low profile tennis matches on at the same time, you can see that they're all 6 figures. Well, not all of them, but there are a few matches, all 6 figures, and probably going to end up being 7-figure turnovers. Okay, so yeah, this is clearly a lot of money being turned over in tennis. And the main reason this is happening, and the main reason why tennis is such an attractive sport to trade, is because of the market movement. Look at all these swings and roundabouts that are happening in these tennis markets. And the markets move with every single point. So it makes it an incredibly pure sport to trade with. Some tennis traders I know tell me it's like tennis was made to be traded, because look at that. Very, very fun to trade. So that is why it is very, very attractive for people to really, really focus on trading tennis, because there's so many opportunities. And when you contrast that with a typical football market, this is like an under 2.5 goals market. Well, there could be nothing happening at all. And I mean, that would be nice if we just caught that swing down. But when you compare it to football trading, I mean, in football trading, you're often waiting for a goal, for an opportunity to trade. And that might only happen 2.5 times a match on average. sometimes it won't happen at all. So you can see why tennis is so conducive to trading, and like I said, the purest trading sport of all. In tennis, there is always something happening, okay? We're always going to be prepared for another point coming in. There has to be another point, so the odds have to move on that next point, and it can create some great price swings and some great trading opportunities, okay? So that is why tennis trading is so attractive. But who is making that big money? Who is it? Because, I mean, look at that. 2 million turned over on that Venus-Williams match. 17 million turned over on this Maria Sharapova match. And I don't remember seeing many football matches this season with 17.8 million turned over on those, even in the bigger matches in the Champions League. So, yeah, who is it and how are they doing it? We're going to get into that right now. But I just want to remind everyone that currently the doors are open to the premium course, Ultimate Tennis Trading. And as I upload this video, there's still a few spots left. We are closing the doors permanently on Friday night at midnight. Okay, so if you are interested in getting in, then you need to click the link in the description. If there are still spots left, you should get an email back within 24 hours. Otherwise, you will get added to the waiting list, okay? And this is the course that will allow you to learn tennis trading in full, including the 5 strategies to take advantage of all the market swings that you just saw on the previous screen, okay? So this is everything you need to learn how to trade tennis, even if you've never traded it before or have no clue about the sport at all. Link is in the description. Click that, submit your email address ASAP, and if there are still spots, you should get an email back. But the doors will close midnight on Friday. The last time we opened this was about a year ago, so it could be a while before we open it again. But if not, you will be on the waiting list. So where is all that money coming from in the tennis markets? So you might initially think it's coming from the punters themselves, just having a bet on tennis. But this money is flying in on some pretty low profile matches. And you might know a lot of people that like to place bets, but how many people are really that interested in placing bets on unknown tennis players, okay? I doubt you even know many people in the real world that do, okay? So is it really coming from the punters? Not really at all. A lot of the money is coming from the traders. That is fair to say. And that is the home traders like myself and like you. That is where a lot of that money is coming from. But the main money, the serious money, is coming from the syndicates, aka the courtsiders. And I'll explain more about that in just a moment. But it is the syndicates that are investing the serious big money to trade tennis covertly live at the events. Now, courtsiders originally had their edge in being first to the market, but now with so many other courtsiders all in competition with each other, that edge has eroded, and so they've also got to learn kind of how to trade at the same time and how to match read. But the idea behind courtsiding is that they're just going to be first to the market. So as soon as they see a player score a point, they're going to put their money in. They're going to they're going to sweep up all the money that is lying around in the markets, move the odds, and then wait for it to happen again and again and again. And it is the courtsiders that are making the millions. That was exactly who Brad Hutchins was referring to in his book. He was employed as a courtsider to go and do it live at the tennis matches himself and to make money for the big syndicates. Interestingly, I don't think he ever actually met the big people behind it. But that is where the money is coming from. It is coming from the courtsiders. Now, if you never had a look at a tennis market closely, then it's very easy to spot the courtsiders. It's very easy to spot their money. And so let me show you a quick live demonstration of this so you can see exactly what I mean. So we're in a tie break here. The price on Pella is 1.18 to back, 1.19 to lay. Nishikori is about to serve. Now, if Pella scores the next point, 1.18 is going to steam in. If Nishikori scores it, it's going to drift. But we can see that happen on the odds prices before we see it on the stream. Now, watch this. Look closely. And we can see who scores the next point before we actually see it scored. So there's a fault there on Nishikori's serve. So a small price steam in the meantime. So it looks like Nishikori scored the next point from the looks of this. There you go. Yep, straight up, and then it went out. Okay, so you can see that the courtsiders are about 2 or 3 seconds ahead of what we're seeing at home. So if you did think that you could watch the TV and then see a point scored and then back that player or lay that player according to the point that's scored, well, it's not going to happen. You have to be at the event or with really, really fast pitchers. And so you might be wondering, just how do they do it and how can I get in on that action? Well, number one, firstly, it is apparently illegal to do. No one's ever been convicted of it. However, if you are caught trading at the tennis match itself, you are likely to get arrested and then banned from that tennis stadium. But the main way to do it, if you are wanting to do it anyway, is that you would have someone in the stadium and they would be following the match, and then you would have some sort of connection, usually via phone, like you can see here, to someone who is going to place the bets. You wouldn't be placing the bets yourself. And of course, technology has probably moved on, and you would think that there would probably be more advanced ways to do it. But this was the old school way of doing it. You'd have some sort of phone connected to someone who can place the bets. You would shout down the phone or give them some sort of signal to tell them who has scored the point, and they would place the corresponding bet on the Betfair exchange. This is obviously Bet365, but they would place the corresponding bet, and they would make a profit, and then it would just be rinsing and repeating. That is how those courtsiders get their angle, okay? However, like I said, it's a very dangerous game to play today, and there's a lot of people at it. There's a lot of competition. It's not easy. And so seeing that, you might start to wonder, well, what hope do we have to try and beat these sharks when they are just going to be so quick, so fast to the market? They're always going to be a few seconds ahead of us. Well, the idea is we're not going to try and beat them at their own game. You cannot beat them at their own game unless you are willing to invest in trading tennis live at the events. Then you have to adapt, okay? And a good way to think of trading tennis is to think of the courtsiders of being the sharks of the market, and we are actually the little fish. So that is us at the bottom, okay? That is me, that is you. Now the sharks, they bring all the liquidity and the money to the market, but instead of the sharks going after the little fish, they're actually just fighting with the other sharks. There are multiple courtsiders at those events, all trying to get their edge, all trying to get in the market with their big 5 and 6 figure stakes. And I'm pretty sure those are not stakes that most people watching this video are going to be starting out with. And so as little fish, we just go about our business picking up the profits from the floor, okay? So you have all these sharks fighting over the millions, as they put it, not me, as they put it. And, well, we can just be the little fish, happy to take home a few hundred a day. And you probably still qualify as a little fish, even if you're making 5 figures a month, since there is just so much depth in the tennis trading markets. So that is the way to think about it. We're not here to try and beat the sharks, okay? Unless we want to go and try and swim with the sharks live at the events, we have to adapt, and we have to adapt our trading style and just be those little fish, happy to take out a tiny percent of money from that market and then be on our way, and do it very quietly at the same time. And so you might get a lot of people who are very negative about tennis trading because they will tell you about the courtsiders, they'll tell you about these syndicates, but those are usually the people who tried tennis trading and then gave up on tennis trading because they didn't become millionaires overnight, okay? Now, remember, tennis trading is not something that is mainstream, that all the masses are involved in, and we definitely don't have institutional banks involved in tennis trading. I highly doubt you know anyone in your close friends or family who trades tennis themselves. And so the competition isn't as scary as you might think, okay? So like I said, unless you're there looking to take on the competition at the events, looking to take on those courtsiders, well, we can just trade quietly from home. And like this, we can look for low risk, high reward opportunities, get in the market, small downside, big upside, rinse and repeat. And we're just looking to take advantage of those market opportunities. And once you know what you're looking for, you'll see that they are very, very frequent. And let me just run through a few quick examples here. And by the way, if you didn't do it earlier on, please do click the like button to help support the channel. Maybe you didn't click the like button earlier on because you wasn't sure if you were going to like this video. Well, maybe now you like the video. So if you do, click the like button. It really, really is a big help for us. But I just want to show you a good example of just getting involved in a low risk, high reward sort of trade. Okay, so we've laid Gavril over here at 1.37, £100 stake. And so you might think, well, we're risking £37 to win 100. That's not the case at all, because if you saw my video on the odds prediction formula, then I showed you how we can predict the price moves and know where the prices will be at the end of the first set. And they then very rarely ever go into 1.01. And so we know from this situation with Gavril over 2 love up, we know that the price is not going to move that many ticks against us if we get it wrong from this particular point. So this is a good example of a low risk, high reward opportunity, because we can get in laying her at 1.37, and we know that if she does win this first set and we don't get an opportunity to make our trade, we're only losing a few ticks. But if she does give up a game or two, give up a break point or two, then we could get a nice swing in our direction, and then we lock in a profit. Okay, remember, we're not suddenly saying that Berzinski is going to win this match. We're not even saying that she's going to win the set. We're just looking for volatility. And so in this example, remember, this was 14 minutes into the match. 6 minutes later, we got the volatility we were looking for. And if you remember my recent video where I kind of explained the secret behind tennis trading, it is looking for prices that are wrong in the moment and looking for a price correction. And that was it. It was very low risk, high reward. Okay, lay at 1.37. out of 1.6 6 minutes later, because there was a correction, and clearly there was more volatility to come in that match. Okay, we locked in £14. So yeah, nice little return. It was what, £37 of exposure into the market, but that full 37 was never going to be at risk at all. But that is a good example of one of those low risk, high reward trades where we don't have to worry about what the courtsiders are doing. Those courtsiders, or the sharks, they're fighting over every single point to try and move the market. I mean, you can see there's £2,000 there, £3,200 there. That's the courtsiders' money. Okay, we just want to nibble at that and try and take some home for ourselves. But here's another example here. And this is a little bit late on. This is in the third set. Okay, so this was Svitolina against Bencic, and we've seen. I mean, I don't have the chart. I really should have got the chart for you guys. But what we saw in this match happen quite a lot was that Svitolina would convert a break point and then give up her service game immediately after that. And you can kind of see it happened at least 4 times in the match already. So again, laying her at 1.17. That's a pretty low price to be laying her. And, well, we've seen it happen 4 times before, and it happened again. Okay, in this case, she actually only went love 15 down for a nice drift in the price up to 1.39. We removed our risk from the trade. Lo and behold, she did lose that service game, as we were expecting, because we'd seen it happen so much times in that same match. And she went out to 1.73. So that is low risk. Okay, low risk position, 1.17. And then about 10 minutes later, she's out to 1.73. We've locked in £43. Our exposure in the market was £36. And let's just say we were going to risk that full £36. It's still 120% ROI on our original risk. And it took about 11 minutes to do. And there are opportunities such as this all the time in tennis trading, as I showed you. And look at this, 3.6 million turned over on this match. Very, very low profile match. Okay, 1% of that 3.6 million is 36k. A 0.01% is a £360 profit, and I'm pretty sure most of us would be very happy just to take home 0.01% of that turnover on that match. Okay. And so I do hope this video has helped you in some way. And I just want to mention again, the doors are open to the premium course, Ultimate Tennis Trading, as I upload this video. And there are still a few spots left as I upload it. Okay. If you are interested in getting involved, click the link in the description. If you already have an invite and you I'm in and are in about getting involved, well, make sure you click through on the invite and get signed up ASAP. The doors will close for a long time again on midnight at Friday. Okay, if you're depending on when you see this video, if you are too late, we will just add you to the waiting list for the next opening. Okay, this is the first time we've opened this course in over a year, and with this course you will learn tennis trading in full, even if you know nothing about tennis. Okay, if you are totally brand new to this, then it should be a huge help to help you to go from pretty much zero to almost pricking out the trades like a pro within a very short space of time. You'll learn how to do the pre-match research to find those ideal matches for those low risk, high reward trades, and it literally just takes 30 seconds just looking at a few key stats. And then you'll also learn how to read a tennis match, because so many opportunities do develop in play, and it can be very apparent and obvious when you know what to look for. Okay, and again, this is even if you've never watched tennis before, and you get 5 strategies in there. 3 of them are low risk, 2 of them advanced, and there is a nice bonus package as well, which also includes the pressure points bonus domination as well. So there's definitely a lot to grab. Okay, the doors will close midnight on Friday. If you are involved, click the link in the description, put in your best email address, and if there's still spots, we're going to email you within 24 hours. Otherwise, you'll have to go on the waiting list. And anyway, in this video, we touched on the tennis trading millionaires, but if you want to see the very best tennis trading strategies to use right now, then check out the video that is available on the screen right now. Just click it and I will see you there. I'll show you all the main strategies alongside lots of real life demonstrations to back it up. Click through and I'll see you in the next video.